What's up, everybody? Welcome to BioWare 3 Raw TV. Well, first of all, again, I just want to say thank you guys so much for the support. We're now on Amazon.com, which is awesome, and we've literally doubled sales in the first week, and we're 3 weeks deep in this. This is amazing. So thank you so much for the support. There's a link in the description box down below. Amazon has, of course, free shipping with this Amazon Prime, 2-day shipping. You can't beat Amazon, so it was just a good move to go with Amazon. Of course, we still sell stuff on the website, like BMR4 is only available on the website at this time. So again, thank you guys so much for the support. I guess I have no idea what it means to me. So let's kick this off. Now, right above, you're going to see the title of this video, which is about cancer, right? And I read this article, and I've read other things, and I've been looking into this for quite a while. After my father passed away of cancer, there were a lot of unanswered questions because of the way shit went down really didn't make much sense, right? So just bear with me. So my father had lung cancer. There was like a nodule in his lung, and they were like, we can't remove it due to where it is. So radiation and chemotherapy are what you have to do right now. Like, you need it right this second. So he agreed. He went through the chemotherapy. Radiation almost fucking killed him. He was so sick. He was so fucked up. Like, I remember we went to visit him, and I was like, fuck, I was like, he's not going to make it. And he did. He made it through the therapies. He lived for about 3 years longer, and then he eventually succumbed to cancer anyways. This time, the cancer just wasn't in his lung. It spread everywhere. It was like in his kidneys, his liver, his lung. It was fucking everywhere. His throat, he had esophageal cancer. It was fucking everywhere. So I'm like, how the fuck could have this shit have killed the cancer? And it was no sign of cancer in his blood, and nothing was coming back. Nothing was coming back. He was negative on all these tests. And all of a sudden, out of the blue, they called him and said, you got to come back to the hospital right now. He's dead the next day. Why the fuck? Where the fuck did all this cancer come from? And why did it not show up until the day before he died? Well, we got the doctor's notes, and they had actually found cancer in him like months before, and he was terminal, and they never told us. And my mom has a big lawsuit with the government right now going on because of this, and basically they knew he was terminal. They don't want to treat him because they knew they couldn't save him, and they don't want to tell us because we would be like, do whatever you can to save him. We have to fucking save him. Don't let him die. And they would have to do all these things that would cost money. So instead, they fucking bottled it up, swept it under the rug, and just fucking let him die a painful death. After that, I said, you know what? There's something more going on than fucking... We all think that the cancer treatments and stuff are a scam anyways. Like, cancer, literally 97% of the time, the chemotherapy and radiation is not effective. Literally. You got about 3% of the time that it's effective long-term, and 7% is short-term. So with odds like that, why the fuck is this the only treatment that we have? What's the best we have? I got a feeling that that's not fucking true. But anyways, doesn't matter. The bottom line is, the doctors weren't just shady. The hospital was shady. Everybody that was involved was shady in the whole fucking process. And the things that they said didn't make any sense. The things that they said weren't true. Like, they told my dad, like, oh, it's going to be 3 weeks before you feel any of these fucking effects from this shit. The next day, he was in the hospital with fucking thrush in his throat and had an infection. Like, they didn't have any answers as to what the fuck was going on when you ask them questions. And I'm like, I realized everybody could be different and stuff, but they're like, oh, I've never seen that before. Like, you're doctors. You've been treating fucking people here for how many years with cancer? And you've never seen a case of fucking thrush happen, like, in 2 days? I fucking think that's a bunch of bullshit. But anyways, I just don't think... I think that many of the cancer hospitals and treatments... Don't get me wrong. I think there are people that are working down in the lower ranks that really want to help people. The nurses and stuff, I think they really want people to survive. They fucking feel awful about what's going on. They're doing everything they can. But these researchers and doctors, more specifically the doctors, I'm not buying it anymore. So we're going to talk today about this disgrace of a doctor. We'll go through the whole thing right here. So it says, while this may be hard to believe for many, doctors do not always have our best interest in mind. What's worse is that we are now living in a world where disease has become a profitable empire, and in turn, many people are being falsely diagnosed in the name of money. False diagnosis of HIV, AIDS, cancer, you name it. False diagnosis, and then they give them, like, there was another one, it was Crohn's disease, I believe it was, because there's an injection you take once a month. It's $1,000 a month for one injection, and it's out of pocket. No insurance covers it. And I'm like, what if somebody had irritable bowel syndrome and had the same exact symptoms? And, well, you're not going to get that type of money out of them, so you might as well fucking tell them that they have, Crohn's or colitis. And next thing you know, you can get $1,000 for a fucking month. Like, it really, really fucking upsets me because that shit goes on all the time. So as one example, Dr. Farid Fatah openly admitted in court a few years back that he had intentionally and incorrectly diagnosed healthy people with cancer. Furthermore, admitted that he administered chemotherapy to such patients to obtain profits. Of course, the patients were in complete shock. Could imagine finding out that you've been wrongfully diagnosed with a deadly disease and then filled with toxic chemicals to line the walls of crooks. Many of these unscrupulous physicians are like businessmen without a conscience. The only difference is they have your health and trust in their hands, in a very dangerous combination when money is involved. A retired oncologist who admits seeing the trend more than a decade ago. According to the government, Fata kept his scam, going from 2009 to 2016, and included a patient loads of 1,200 people that were misdiagnosed. During the time his scheme continued, he received $62 million from Medicare because a U.S. attorney sought life in prison for the doctor. He's in life in prison. While this isn't the sort of behavior you'd expect from your trusted physician, it's important to realize that this is just the sort of thing that goes on a regular basis. Prostate cancer are given patients with prostate cancer are given false prognosis by their doctor due to the disease association with certain protein that is produced by the prostate gland. With that being said, only 3% of patients die from prostate cancer. However, 90% of doctors encouraging expensive treatments for the disease, they're given commission for those that endure it. Of course, they don't inform the patients that 97% of the patients, cancer never spreads outside of the gland, causing harm. For women, they are told time and time again that have hysterectomies cure cancer and various other ailments. Sadly, this is not the truth. In fact, research has shown that there is no improvement in survival regardless of how aggressive such treatments are. So here's the deal. They tell women to have hysterectomies and have everything taken out, and it's completely ineffective. They still get it. So they know by having this operation, this is a pretty fucking hard operation for women. I've known a few women that have had it, but they get a lot of money from it. So they go, well, we'll just fucking have them take everything, all their guts out, take all their guts out, and then fucking just charge them whatever, and fucking whatever happens. They don't fucking care. So, I read these things and I look around and I go, I understand there's like a money thing going on. But my own family doctor, when I was a kid, he was known to be a pill pusher. And pretty much you knew that if you went in there, you could ask him for fucking Vicodin, he would just give it to you, right? And I literally was hooked on Vicodin, and he was supplying them at one point. I would walk in there and I'd be like, my shoulder's still bothering me or whatever. Boom, here's a script for 40 Vicodin. And I would walk out of the room. And however long those 40 Vicodin lasted, they lasted. But I would also go to the black market and buy shit. But still, I get 40 Vicodin from my doctor every few weeks, right? So I finally got a prescription for like 40 Vicodin, and I took them within a day. So I called him 2 days later and said, hey, I need another script. And he was like, where's the Vicodin I just gave you? I said, I took it all. The pain is that bad. He said, all right, come in, because they can't just give it to you. You have to go in. So I went in. He said, listen, man. He said, that's fast. He goes, I don't mind giving them to you, but he goes, that was fast. He's like, I can't give you any more scripts for this stuff at all. He's like, I need to give you something else. So he wrote me the script for the Vicodins and then handed me something new that was a sample. Now pay attention to this, of something that was for pain that he said, this is the next big thing. I think this is perfect for you. I said, okay, what is it? He said, it's Ultram. Brand name Ultram Tramadol. Ultram, I don't know if it's a brand name, but I think it's Tramadol. So Ultram Tramadol is a painkiller that doesn't make you high. Now, what I didn't know at the time, and I'm pretty sure nobody gave a shit when they were given to me, a sample, you can't give out a sample of narcotics. You don't give out samples of Valium, you don't give out samples of Vicodin, Percocet, none of that shit. But they're giving out samples of Ultram because it didn't make you high. Well, we now know that by giving out samples of the Ultram, it hits the opiate receptor. So you're going to take that and you're not going to feel withdrawals because you're taking an opiate, but you also don't feel high. But you're giving something that's so highly addictive, it's just as addictive to your body without, you just don't get the high as heroin or opiates or benzodiazepines or anything like that. Now here I am, a 20-something, very young, 22-year-old, 23-year-old guy standing in his office. He's feeding me narcotics for quite a while. And then he feeds me Ultram under the guise that this stuff's okay for you. It's not addictive, it's not this. I'm like, okay, cool. So I started taking it. I was like, there's no high with that. Fucking dumped them in the trash. Then just went on the black market to find what I needed to find. Now, years later, when I found out what Ultram was and figured that, my doctor had my best interest in heart, was completely false. He was giving me something to keep me addicted that I would need prescriptions of, rather than, I was addicted, period. There's no way, like any respectable doctor would be like, here's the deal. I'm gonna, refer you to this inpatient detox center. We need to get you off these things, and then we'll control your pain with non-addictive, non-opiates, whatever the case may be. There is something out there, I don't remember the name. My wife Erin actually works at a hospital, and when drug addicts come in that get high, they give them a shot of this. Like it's Toradol, I think is the name of it, but they give them a shot of this painkiller that kills pain great, but there's no high to it and it's not an opiate. So they're still in withdrawals and they still don't have their opiates, but the pain from the surgery or whatever is dead. It's gone, right? So there are things out there that you can use that are non-addictive that don't make you high, but it's not their first go-to thing. A lot of these doctors, their first go-to thing are these things like opiates. Why do you think that is? They're not fucking stupid. Doctors nowadays and doctors when this shit was picking up knew that these things were addictive and you couldn't get off them. And they couldn't write those fucking scripts fast enough. My doctor was giving them out as samples like fucking candy. He was trying to addict as many people as he fucking could so that he would have them on his fucking repertoire. He goes through his little Rolodex. All those motherfuckers in the Rolodex are addicted to something that he supplies and he gets paid for. They have no choice except to go to him. He was a legal fucking drug dealer, and that was back then. And the doctor that he took over the practice from, they were partners before, he was even worse. That motherfucker, you'd be like, I need some Vicodin. You'd be like, all right, here's 500. Is that enough? Like 500 Vicodin. You'd be like, what the fuck? That guy was like the most pill-popping pusher you've ever seen in your life. So I sit back and I don't believe all doctors are bad. I know there's a lot of doctors out there that want to help people. But there's a lot of motherfuckers out there that when they start, they want to help people. And for the first 4 years, they really want to help people get better. And they want to, to ease their pain and help them with their ailments. And then they realize how much money they're making. And then they realize how much more they can make. Then they realize how short that career is going to be. Like, oh shit, we could set my family up for life, pay off all my student loans and shit if I do this. I can be done in 5 years and really I'll just be working like padding some, putting more gravy on there because I have $20 million in the bank in 4 years. All my bills will be paid and my family will be taken care of for forever. And all I gotta do is addict some of these assholes that I don't know anyways and I don't give a fuck about anyways. Sure, let's do it. So be aware, guys, like there's a lot of doctors out there and I don't know how to figure out who's good and who's bad. I don't. You know what I mean? I guess it just comes out over time because more and more shady shit goes on that they, things come out that people put in public about these doctors, like this one that went to prison. But I don't know. I don't know the answer, guys. But I do know that do your due diligence and be vigilant yourself. If you see something that looks fucking shady, you don't think it's right, guess what? It's probably not. Like, that's your instincts. That's your intuition telling you something is fucking not right. And your intuition's almost never wrong. So, if your intuition's telling you something's up, listen to it. Don't act on it right away. But take it into account. Think about it. Research it. And then after you have all the information based on what you know, then make a decision then. But trusting doctors blindly, for me, another thing, this is fucking awful. This is going to be quick because we're running pretty late on time here. But, my wife had a cracked tooth. And they told her, you have to drill the cracked tooth out. We're going to pull it. Then we're going to put a post in and put an implant and all this shit. Like, it's going to be about $10,000. And we were like, holy fuck, for one tooth? Holy shit, because you cracked it? Like, you can't fill it or anything? Well, Aaron's parents actually go to a different dentist. And they literally do the same procedure and have had it done before years ago to where it's still perfect now, which means it wasn't like a hack job. And it was like literally like $1,500 for the whole same fucking procedure. So we went there and I started looking around and like, you know what? It varies from $1,500 all the way to like $12,000 based on this one type of surgery. And it's the same effect and same outcome all the way around. So why is it literally like $8,500 different? Because some of these dentists and these doctors know, listen, I'm going to get as much as I can. I'm going to rip these motherfuckers off. If they're willing to pay it, fuck them. And I'm like, just because they're willing to pay $10,000 so they don't have a hole in their head, me, I'll leave the fucking tooth out. I don't care. You can't see it, okay? Yeah, I don't give a fuck. It doesn't bother me, right? I'm not paying anybody 10 grand. 1,500, maybe. Maybe I'll go get it done now, but I'm like, you're not getting 10 grand from me. I'll leave it out. I don't give a fuck. Snaggle puss all day long. Don't give a shit. But some people out there are like so vain about the way they look, and I can understand that they're willing to pay 10 grand for this fucking tooth that literally is not worth it. If they just researched and tried to find, alternative or another doctor or word of mouth, like they would have been able to literally get that done to where, and plus I actually have a cosmetic dentist, it's a friend of mine. And that kind of gave me some insight, too, as to what the fuck was going on. So be aware, guys. None of this shit is fucking, is what it seems most of the time. And we don't know any different because we're not experts in this shit. But if we do our due diligence and stay out there, and just stay vigilant and pay attention and think for ourselves. We have to think. We can't not think and just go with what they say. Because, my friends, that is brainwashing. BiosTraining@gmail.com. Leave comments down below. But don't fight. BiosTraining.com. It's a no brainwashing bicep. And we are out.